Hey guys, how you doing today? So we have a couple cool little inverters that we're going to take a look at. One's a 200 watt, one's a 550 watt. They're powered by the 20 volt DeWalt batteries. And these were sent to me for free by Ecarke. And the only reason I said yes to these is because ever since I bought my DeWalt powered soldering station and DeWalt powered portable power supply, I've realized just how handy things are that can be powered by batteries that you already have on hand. So we're going to take a look at these. We're going to load them up. We're going to see what they'll carry. And just to read off the specs real quick, this is a 200 watt powered by 18 to 20 volt DeWalt battery platforms. Puts out 110 to 120 volts. It's got a USB 5 volt, 2.1 amp, and an LED light that's 200 lumen. The bigger one here is 550 watts. Of course, it's got short circuit protection, low voltage, low overload protection, overheat protection, overcurrent protection, and it says good heat protection. Both these do have built-in fans. Now this one says 550 running watts, 550 peak watts, powered by the same batteries, 110 volts plus or minus 10%, 5 volt, 4 amp, 20 watt USB output, 600 lumen battery, and the frequency 60 hertz. And we are going to check the frequency on both these. Using my little oscilloscope, make sure that the frequencies are within spec. And here's the units, and if you're not familiar, this is the type of battery that powers these. I don't have two of these batteries, but I do have two knockoff DeWalts here. These are supposed to be 7 ampere hour. Who knows what they really are. All these are fully charged. And we're going to see what these things will do. We're going to start off with this small one. Like I said, it's 200 watts. Obviously, this is going to be good for like powering laptop computers or a lamp or something that's relatively low power. Let me go ahead and snap this battery on. Kind of show you the unit itself. One outlet, 2 USBs. Got a Type C USB up there. To turn it on, you just hit the button. It is lit up in green. Don't know if you can see that because of the light. To turn the light on, it's a pretty bright light. That's on bright, medium, low, off. And then back to bright, medium, low, off. So let's plug something in here and let's see what this unit will power. And one thing I've got is a lamp. We're just going to plug it in, and we already had the unit turned on. The lamp came on. Now that is an LED bulb, so it's probably pulling very little power. In fact, let's see how much power it's pulling. I do have my watt meter here. So this LED lamp, 6 watts. So we would definitely expect that to power that lamp. So let's get on to something just a little bit bigger. That will be a fan. Fan is turned off currently. I'm going to turn it on high to start with. That's the first notch. That's level 3. It's about 82 watts. Turn on medium. There's 70. Turn on low. There's 60 watts. I don't hear the fan. Okay, the fan, whenever it's on high, pulling about 80 watts, the fan, the internal fan is turned on. In fact, I'm going to put this big fan down there. Hopefully you can hear the fan, so it is attempting to stay cool. So let me get something to where we can load this up even higher. Okay, this is not going to load it up higher, I don't think. This is a 50 watt soldering iron. We're just going to shove that right in there like that. We're going to let this come up to temp. And we're going to see if it'll get hot enough to melt solder, like it should. And feel the heat coming up through the solder. Okay. Okay, it's starting to melt. Solder's too hot to touch. There she goes. So about 60 seconds or so, and it was hot enough to melt solder. Let's load it up to where it shuts off now. Over current protection. In fact, we're not going to need that because I'm pretty sure what I'm going to plug into it, it is not going to run. Then we're going to go to the bigger one. So this is the pool pump. Unit is turned on. Just going to plug it in and see what happens. And yeah. In fact, let me turn the light off so that you can see. You can see that it's flashing red. Means it's overloaded. And I figured that this was just too much load for 200 watts. So it does indeed shut off instead of trying to continue to turn it, which is what you want. You don't want one of these that's going to just continue to put power out until something burns up. You want it to open the circuit up and shut down. So anyway, that's the small one. Now we're going to go to the bigger one, 550 watt, and we're going to see what it'll do. Now the nice thing about this one is it does have a watt meter built in. So let me get it set up and we'll go to it. So here's where your batteries go in. We're just going to slide a couple of these knockoff DeWalt batteries in. They fit perfect. You still have room. So these were 7 ampere hour. If you go to like the 8, let me get some measurements for you. Because if you, depending on the size of the battery, you may or may not be able to get them in here. So let's see. These batteries are right at 3 inches wide. And we're going to just split the difference here. Looks like 3. If you had a battery that was 3 1/4 or narrower, they should fit in this. And the reason I'm doing this is because there was a comment that was left on another review that they were complaining that the big battery that they had for the Milwaukee platform, this company makes this same unit for Milwaukee and DeWalt, and I think maybe even Makita. And I guess Milwaukee makes a big, huge, high ampere hour battery, and they were upset that they couldn't get them in here. I don't know what all amperages that DeWalt has and how much bigger the battery is, but now you have an idea. If they're 3 1/4 wide, you should be able to get them down in here. So we got the batteries put in. We're going to turn the unit on. Got a nice bright display. You've got a button here. If you hit it, that's going to output to the USB. The light, you hit it once, comes on low. Hit it again, medium, again, high. High is 600 lumens, and it is pretty bright. And then, of course, you got an AC button here. When you hit it, it says output, and it's actually putting out to both the outlets right here. So first, let's see what the frequency is and what it looks like on an oscilloscope. All right, and we got a nice, beautiful sine wave. Frequency's right at 60 hertz. So it does put out a good signal. So let's go over here and get it plugged in, and let's see what we can power up with it. Now, I've got a big fan over here. I'm not sure how many watts. Well, this pulls the watts, so we don't really need this, but I guess we can double check its watt meter versus ours. Let me show you what we're going to do. I've got this 26-inch Dayton oscillating fan. Let's see if it'll power it up. Here she goes. I'm going to pull the chain. It comes on high to start with. Instantly heard the fan kick on the unit. Pulling about 282 watts. And the indicator here is showing the same. They're real close. So it's definitely pulling that, no problem. Let me get that other fan. We're going to plug it in. So we're pulling almost 300 watts. We'll see what that other fan, if it'll come on, and if this will hold both of them. Okay, got this fan going. Pulling 360 watts. Okay, so the big fan's pulling 270. This fan down here is pulling however many watts. That brings it up to 357. Both of them are going, no problem. I'm going to let this run until this voltage drops down to 14.5. The reason is because you don't want, depending on the batteries that you're using, if they don't have built-in protection, you don't want to drop these batteries down below 14.5 volts. So this is supposed to shut off whenever the voltage gets down to 14.5. So I'm just going to let this run until we get down to where the fans, to where this shuts off, and we'll see if it protects the batteries. I'm probably not going to film that because I don't know how long it's going to be, but I will kind of give you a time frame that it took for both these fans running before it actually got down to 14.5 volts. Now, the DeWalt batteries are probably going to have longer run times just because I think they're probably going to be closer to the rated capacity than these aftermarket. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to let it run. Okay guys, I've unplugged this fan temporarily. I wanted to see if the signal was still showing a solid 60 hertz. And you can see that it is. 60 hertz on the money, even though this fan is still plugged in. So we're going to plug this one back in. And I set my timer also. We're probably about actually 4 minutes into these fans running. So this is probably at least, we're probably about 5 minutes actually, because I had to go in the house and get my phone. But again, I'm waiting for this to drop down to 14.5 volts. Okay guys, so it just cut off. The voltage was 14.5 when it did cut off, but since the load has been taken off of it, the voltage has come back up a little bit. So it will protect your batteries. That's the main thing I was wanting to see, is to see if it was going to shut off. These batteries are a little bit warm. In fact, let's pull one out. Oh, it's been probably about 16 or 17 minutes, because when I started the timer, it was already at least 2 or 3 minutes into it. And we are down to 1 bar on that one. And 1 bar on that one. So, it did what it's supposed to. Now remember, even though these are 7 ampere hour batteries, or at least that's what they're labeled as, the DeWalt's are probably going to be a lot better than these. These are old. I've had these for probably 3 or 4 years. I've used them quite a bit. They've always done good for me, but I've never tested these to see how close to the 7 ampere hour they actually are. So if you're using DeWalt batteries, you're going to get longer run times, I can almost guarantee you. But anyway, this unit seems to have done a really good job. I don't feel any heat anywhere. When the fan was running, you could feel air being pulled in this side and being exhausted out this side, and it didn't feel hot. It felt cool. So I don't think the unit was running hot. And before I forget, let's just put one battery in. This unit does work off of just one battery also. So if all you have charged up is one battery and you need to power something, obviously probably a little bit lower than the 550 max watts, you can do that. You can see the battery voltage is starting to come up just a little bit because the load's been taken off. But one other thing I want to mention before I cut off here, before I shut this video down is you do charge at 20 watts on the USB ports. So at least the Type C. I'm not sure about the Type 1s, but it did say 20 watts in the book for the USB port. Anyway, we're done. This is the Ecarke 250 watt inverter. We also looked at the 200 watt. I'm pretty impressed with this. If you've got some DeWalt batteries, again, they also make this same unit that works with the Milwaukee batteries, and I think maybe Makita, but I'm not sure. I know Milwaukee, I know DeWalt. If you needed something to power some lights or something in a power outage, a TV, lights, fans, whatever, this is a pretty cool little option to have available if you just need some temporary power if you've got some batteries charged up. Anyway, we're done. Video's gotten way too long. You guys take care. We'll see you.